Hey everybody, this is Chris from Finding Gadgets, and today I'm going to give you a little tour of my eBay reselling space slash where I review products. So this is my basement, and I have a section of my basement that I've allocated for just reselling. It's almost not quite 500 square feet, but I want to give you a tour of the setup. So the back wall here is just got some shelving. Not a lot of shelving. I don't carry a huge amount of inventory. Right now I think I have 130 items in my store. I try to stick around 150. At some point I might increase that, but it's just manageable for me. I don't want to have a lot of inventory that's just sitting, so I try to get a lot of things that have a high sell-through rate, and it just makes it easier for space organization. So I have a shelf here, a couple shelves. I'll add a couple more at some point, but I find also that I pre-package everything for the most part. Some stuff I put in bins, smaller stuff, but I tend to do mostly just everything, have it packaged ready to go. So when I get the order that comes in, I can just slap a label on it and drop it off at the post office, or have the post office pick it up. So this back wall eventually will have a couple more shelves, and I have everything with a SKU label, so it's easy to identify. I learned the hard way when I first started out, not having the SKU, and then just takes a lot of time to find stuff in boxes, and I don't want to waste a lot of time, as this is a part-time gig for me. So I have a full-time job, family. So with reselling, I don't want to spend a ton of time on it. Right now I'm probably averaging maybe 1,000 sales a month. All right, so over on the left side here, I just have a bunch of boxes. I tend to recycle a lot of boxes when we get stuff from purchases, and then if I have boxes from other places we buy. In addition to the boxes that we get that we recycle, I do have a few boxes over in this section that are kind of my typical size boxes. I figured out over time what boxes I need to carry, so I just order these on eBay typically, or Amazon. And there's 14 by 12 by 3. I use it to ship a lot of smaller board games. And then I have an 18 by 8 by 6. I have some larger boxes, like a 24 by 20 by 6, and a 12 by 10 by 4. So I don't like to do big items. So when I started out, I was going to estate sales and stuff and picking up larger items, and it's just a lot of work to package, and it takes up a lot of space. So I have kind of a rule when I'm looking, that I try to grab things that are smaller in scale, easy to package, cost less in shipping, and I use ground shipping for everything that I do. And with the option, if somebody wants it priority, they can pay more and I'll ship it priority. But ground shipping tends to be my number one, and I ship pretty much the same day, even though I have a 3-day turnaround window just to give myself a cushion on the weekends. But I typically ship things the next day. Um, and like I said, I'm trying to get small items. But that being said, I do sell stereo equipment, receivers. If you look down here, this is kind of my junk pile, death pile, as some people like to call it on eBay. But these are things I just haven't gone through yet that I'm going to decide if I'm going to sell. But there's a receiver right there. But I sell a lot of VCRs, DVD players, receivers. It is Finding Gadgets, so I do try to look for electronics, consoles, video game systems, things from my childhood, the 80s, early 90s, and at this point now, 20s, or 20s, the early 2000s. I have a pile of here of video games and controllers I got to go through and test and sell. Nothing real, no real bangers or anything like grails. So I'll probably just either bundle these in a bundle and put them on eBay for sale, or I might use something like whatnot, and do a quick auction for video game components. I think I have a couple more down here. You can see some are PC games, Game Boy games, Nintendo, and so that's what I got there. I do sell books. I sell a little bit of everything. My eBay store, has a variety of things. I'll sell whatever can make me money. I've flipped toasters. Um, I've I've sold. I sell vintage board games. I sell shoes, boots, you name it. If it's something I can find that's unique, I'll pick it up. All right. So in addition to, that was my shelf. That's my shelving area with the SKUs. I didn't mention I do have some additional boxes on the shelf here with the poly bags, and the poly bags I'll use for shipping, boots and things I'm not worried about getting banged around, sneakers, shoes like that, coats, clothing, things like that. But otherwise, everything goes in boxes, and then like I said I'll recycle a lot of stuff, but over here is my, if you come over here, just over here, oops, let's start with, all right, it's a little dark over here, the lighting's not great. So over here is my kind of prep station, cleaning station. I'll look at my, if I, whatever I get, I like to clean it up. The cables, make sure they're not dirty. I have rags down below. I'll show you here. So I have my bubble wrap, I have a garbage can, I have some cloths, and then I clean with these items. I have vinegar spray, I have uh, rubbing alcohol, Goo Gone, anything I need to help clean up products. That's all the stuff I have. Q-tips, batteries for testing if it's remotes or toys that I'm selling that I have to test. I like to test everything. I find things tend to sell quicker when you do a video. So a lot of times I'll record a short video of the product that I've tested, whether it's a camera, uh, a controller or something, because people want to see that it actually works, and it protects me too. I don't hardly ever have returns because I think I do that to prove that things are working. And then I just take really good pictures. Over here is my light box. When I started out, I built my own, and then as I made some money, I took the profits and I bought this cheap. It's not very expensive, but this light box has been a huge lifesaver. It's just easy. It's clean looking, and then so I take my pictures there, and then below here I just have a vintage TV, an old TV for testing like the video game systems, consoles, make sure that they work, and I can play them on the old tube TV. And then over to the right on this table, I have a magnifying lens, just because I'm getting older. I'm 45, and sometimes I can't see the labels and stuff. So this little device here, it's got, I can put something under it, I can see what it is. It helps me identify model numbers, things like that. So that's convenient to have. And then I have my SKU stickers, my fragile stickers, and I tend to like to put I always do stickers, right here, which are my thank you stickers. I want to thank people, and I try to package everything really nicely when I ship it. So I've always gotten compliments about my packaging. So I package things to make sure they don't get damaged, but I also put them in clear poly bags if it's game board pieces, things I don't want people to lose. So I seal it up and I put a sticker on there. I have my tape guns, which you can find out which tape guns I use in my affiliate links on my Amazon links in the YouTube. If you want to find out more in the details of the YouTube channel, and I have a tape dispenser, and then I have my digital scale here. So it's just a cheap battery powered one. At some point I'll probably should buy a powered one, but batteries seem to last forever and they're easy to change. This thing, I weigh everything. I put it on the floor if I want a bigger item on it, just to make sure it doesn't get messed up. I'm moving on the table. I just put it on the floor, and then I have this additional area to the right, which is some additional lighting. I have a green screen, just kind of a backdrop. If I'm gonna be doing something on Whatnot for live selling, or eBay maybe live selling at some point. And then I also just test products here, and I also will review products here. So not only do I sell stuff, but some of the stuff I find, I test, keep for myself. Otherwise, I resell it. And I will also do product reviews. So I like to try out new toys, new tech, and give reviews on those. So this is my station. So not a bad little use of a small space. Like I said, I'm not looking to have a huge store, but that is a quick tour of my space. Feel free if you have comments to feel free if you like this video to leave a comment, ask questions. Happy to answer stuff about reselling. I've been doing it for a couple years, and I can also recommend a lot of other YouTube resellers online that have inspired me, and I'm happy to answer those questions. If you be sure to click the like button if you appreciated this video, and the bell for alerts if you want to get notified for future videos that I'll be doing. All right, thank you. Appreciate it.